what do you call uh, English, 6 minutes English by BBC.
6 minutes English, sir. Yes.
Correct, correct, correct. Arjit, have you also gone through 6 minutes English earlier? Have you seen this video?
Yes, yes, sir. I'm
YouTube?
using that app.
You're using it. All right. So I want you to do at least 3 videos every day from it. It takes 6 minutes to complete one, and you can complete 3 videos in like 18 minutes to half an hour. And it has got lots of advantages from the perspective of developing your vocabulary, content, ideas, grammar, everything. So this is one thing which you can do on a daily basis. So a few things which I would recommend you to do on a daily basis are: number one, go through 3 6 minutes English sessions. This you have to do every day. And when you go through this 6 minutes English, maybe not 3, go at least through one daily, because do one but do it thoroughly. In case you have, so I'll write maybe from 1 to 3, right? So in case you have got time, you can go to 3 of them, otherwise at least do one. When you do it, make sure that you make notes. So make notes about new words, make notes about new usages. So if there is some note about grammar, make a note of that. When you make a note of new word, make 1 or 2, at least 2 sentences on each of the new words, right? And you should write a small summary. Maybe it will take 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Write a summary of it in your own words. In case you can write the summary and send it to me, just type it and send it to me on WhatsApp, or just write it in a single notepad and send it to me. So this will give you a chance to write, read, understand, learn a lot of things on your own. And as we see, internet is something which is, you can use this source to learn a lot of things by yourself. So this is one thing which you can do on a daily basis to improve your all the skills: listening, reading, writing, because you get to learn grammar, you get to learn pronunciation, you get to learn modern usages. Of course, it also helps you to improve your knowledge about the new subject. This is one thing which I would like to do on a daily basis. The second thing that we have discussed is you have to listen to Earl Nightingale. Morning, evening, whenever you get some time, do listen to this. It takes around 30 minutes to finish it. So before sleeping, or maybe after getting up, you can just keep on doing whatever you are doing. But along with that, just keep listening to it. You will get a lot of very good insights from it. You can also download the PDF of it. Just go to Google and say download PDF, The Strangest Secret. So you will get this also, and you can read it along with when the script, the transcript, when the speech is going on, when the audio is playing, you can simultaneously read it. So while something is going on, and you can read it, so that will give you a chance to develop again your vocabulary, content, lots of ideas, how to put things, how to do transition. It talks about lots of things there, from one story to other story, other story to other story, and there is a connection, there is a transition happening from one story to next story. So you will learn a lot of things by itself rather than going through lots of other things. And third thing that you can do to develop your skills related to all the things together is the listening scripts. So if you do a listening test on a daily basis, and after doing the test, just listen to the test audio, you'll get to understand how they frame sentences, how they put things across, how the things are organized. Because most of the listening passages are very organized by themselves. They speak about things in a very standard manner. There is a topic sentence, they describe it, they give examples. So you can do these 3 things on a daily basis. This will, in next 20-25 days, your English will automatically go to the next level with respect to all the things: listening, reading, writing, speaking. So this is something which is fundamental. along with all the tests that you do. As we discussed in the other class, your foundation is strong English. IELTS is just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? The strong foundation in English, if you pay attention to this part, which is the strong foundation, your IELTS will become very easy. Why people not get good marks in IELTS is because they keep on focusing on this section and this thing remains untouched. They just think that by doing a lot of tests, they will get good marks. But this is not the case. You will have to have a strong foundation before you can attempt the test. If foundation is strong, preparing for the test is just a matter of 10-15 days and you can clear the test. This thing takes time. Building a very strong foundation in terms of grammar, vocabulary, connecting the ideas, so basically knowledge also to a certain extent. You know how for different topics are you able to have different, I mean your knowledge is important. So if you do not have knowledge about different topics, again there would be a problem, isn't it? So from this perspective, you have to focus on this section, which is the fundamental or the foundation. And for this, you have to do the things which I have said on a daily basis. Next 15-20 days, you will definitely move to the next level. Along with this, every week you have to do at least 2 full tests. So this we can organize either on the weekends or during the weekdays, whenever you have to do 2 full tests every week, right? So I think this much would be enough. If you have this target for every week, you'll keep on moving to the next level. You should not move to a new test until unless I have told you that you have scored 8 bands in all the sections in this test. Repetition is the mother of all skills. What we do is we keep on doing lots and lots of new tests, but there are still errors in the previous test. So do not, especially writing and reading, do not leave any question ununderstood. Do not leave any stone unturned. You must be perfect in an essay before you move to the next essay, because lots of things which you learn here could be applied in the next essay. If you leave it here, then you will have to learn the same lesson here. But when you learn the new lesson here, you are making a new start altogether. So you have to start from the basic. You have to understand introduction, body, conclusion. In case there are some things which are left here, 90% of the things you have already covered, just 10% things are left. So learn those 10% things here itself in this essay. If you have to write the same essay twice or thrice or 4 times or 5 times, it will give you more learning than writing 5 different essays. Write the same essay 5 times till the time I tell you that now it is enough and you are at 8 bands. Once you take one letter to 8 bands, you would know all the things required to take your essay to the 8 bands. To the 8 bands, you can say benchmark or milestone. So this is very important. You repeat the same content to as many times as possible till you become like, it should become like boring for you. It should not become challenging. It should become boring. There are 2 things. There are 2 states whenever you are doing something. Either you find it very challenging. Challenging is when you are scared of it, right? Or you find it very boring. When does something becomes boring? When does it become boring?
The same thing.
When you have done the same thing so many times that you know that, oh, I know this. So something which is challenging should become boring for you. You should do it so many times that you should start feeling, oh, ye to mujhe pata hai. I've seen the same movie 20 times. That's when learning would happen, and you would know. When your system starts, when your body starts telling it that now I don't want to have it anymore, I know it, then you should leave it. When you close your eyes, if you are able to remember the same essay line by line, then you should leave it. Don't leave it till it becomes a part of you. If you do this exercise for 4 to 5 tests, You will become master of the whole IELTS. See what happens is we all focus on this. How many tests? How much marks did I score in this reading test? You have to first of all make your foundation very strong. And foundation means 4 or 5 tests. 4 or 5 tests, you should be perfect. If I ask you to get up and just explain some passage, okay, why is this answer like this in reading, or if I give you a topic on writing and so you should be able to tell like the way I tell about those 4 5 essays. If those 4 5, you become a master of those 4 5 essays, nothing is left. Then rest of the things would just be a repetition or a copy of what you have already done. All right. So this is what you are supposed to do. This is the strategy that you should have. First of all, build a very strong base so that on that base, anything can stand. And then you have to take lots and lots of tests so that, you know, if you get variety of situations, if you are supposed to write on variety of subjects, you have knowledge and you have the ability to deal with that. But you have to start with a very strong foundation so that you are confident about it, and whatever things change, you know how to deal with them. I mean, you get an ability to deal with different types of questions and situations. But yes, 5 tests, 4 to 5 tests, I'll say 5 tests at least should be like you are born with them. They should be like your right hand. Do you have to remember that I have a right hand? Every morning you get up in the morning and you check, oh, where is my right hand? So it does not happen. You are born with your right hand and you will die with your right hand. It won't happen that, oh, on Monday I lost my right hand. I put it somewhere and I was not able to get it. Where had it gone? It took me 2 hours to find where is my right hand. Yeah? I kept it in the drawer like the way we miss the keys. Does it ever happen? You lost your right hand. So these 5 tests should become your right hand. If these tests become your right hand, everything in them, listening, reading, writing, speaking, you would have everything which is required to clear any test. Do it so many times again and again, but then take them to the level where you are perfect in those 5 tests. If somebody gives them, you finish them in an hour's time. You know what is the answer. You know why is that answer. Everything. You know which words. You know how to write a paragraph, how to write introduction, how to write conclusion for these 5 tests. So become a master of 5 tests first. Before 5 tests, you'll have to take one test. That is why I'm asking you to take just one book, book 9. There are 4 tests in this. If you do these 4 tests so many times that you become a master of them, then you take any book, there would be some kind of repetition happening there. Are you seeing your marks moving up in reading? Are you able to understand the passage? Have you ever witnessed a magic happening in your reading that you never expected? Oh, how is it possible? I was all scared by a passage and now I'm able to read it at a fast pace. I don't even bother about things which are not difficult. How is it happening? Now, because you are repeating things, you are able to read stuff and get the answers. You are the same. The passages are equally difficult. I was teaching a boy 3 4 days back from US. I gave him 44 questions. He's from 9th class, born and brought up in US. His English is of course good, but then reading comprehension is reading comprehension. So he used to score like out of 44, somewhere around 30 or 28, something like that. One fine day when I gave him 44 questions, he scored 44 on 44. I thought he's doing some kind of cheating. I gave him one more test. I gave him 14 questions. He scored 14 on 14. Same day. I thought again there is some problem. Maybe I have given some easy test. I gave one more test. He again scored 14 on 14. Now it was like I asked him, what is happening here? What have you eaten? Are you in your senses? How is it that you are getting all questions right? 1 minute. Yes, Ashima. Hello. Yeah, Ashima, you've got the invite? I sent it, I think I sent to the different ID, which means incorrect ID. Let me send it once again. 204. हाँ वही मैं भेजता हूँ आपके पास. This kind of magic you will encounter. What he told was that, sir, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going back to the corrections log and I'm just checking all the things which were wrong. I've done it 5-6 times. And by this, his marks have gone full. Isn't it surprising?
Yes, sir.
So this is what will happen. After some days, you will find that you have started scoring full marks and you will surprise yourself. I've seen this happening. This happens every day. Same is the case in speaking. You know, sometimes you get scared. Yesterday morning, Ravi was telling, I will not be able to speak this way. Don't worry. Do some cheating. See, I'll give you a phrase. Make this phrase a phrase for your life. Just follow this principle throughout your life. Imitate to learn and innovate to earn. What is the meaning of this?
I mean, you mean to say you want to copy it for learning, and we need to innovation is like. What do you mean to say?
Innovative means new ideas, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. So innovative होना चाहिए for earning. So we should involve new ideas, sort of.
So imitate to learn and innovate to earn. What does this mean? Is there any relationship between the two when it says imitate to learn and innovate to earn? I mean, what is the meaning of imitating? Imitation jewelry is there. Imitation jewelry. What is imitation?
Yeah, trying to copy the existing things.
Yes, nakal karna. So when you are learning something, try to imitate. Don't try to innovate. Just copy. When somebody is telling you to do something, just copy it. Copy that format. If there is a proven way, just copy it. All right. And when you have copied it many times, when you have become a master of it, when you know everything about it, and you want to start something of your own, then you want to produce something, you want to give something new to the world, then you should innovate. But you should not innovate unless you have done enough of imitation. First, you have to do lots and lots of copying. Do not try to innovate at this stage. When you are learning, what you should do is you should simply imitate. Like, for example, if there are 5 essays, I'm telling you, you have to master these 5 essays. Do not try to innovate with those essays. Just imitate them. Just copy them. Understand them very properly, write it. Understand them very properly, write it. Understand them very properly, like this. So you are just writing the same stuff. This is imitation. Now I give you only a topic. I do not give the whole essay. At this time, I have not given you anything to copy. So what will you do? You will have to be a little innovative. Whatever you learned in these 5 essays, you will apply them in the 6th essay. Right? You now know how to organize ideas, how to write introduction, how to write body, how to write conclusion. The conclusion should be very short. You know the rules. Now you can apply the rules and write a new essay. That is what we call as innovation, because you are writing something completely on your own. But you will be able to write something completely on your own only when you have done enough of imitation, isn't it? At this stage itself, you try to innovate. Will you be able to be successful? You have not done enough of imitation and you are trying to innovate. Will it work?
No.
Right? A kid has not started walking and you want to run in a marathon where there are so many people that he has to beat. Will he be able to win the marathon?
No.
So your IELTS exam is like a marathon. It's a championship where you have to be perfect. Will you become a champion by participating in a lot of championships that, oh, I have participated in 5 marathons. Today I am an international player. No. It's not about participating in an event. It's about practicing every day about a small thing, isn't it?
Yes.
All these athletes do not run a lot of races. They work on small parts of their race every day and they combine it and it becomes the complete race. Here they are doing a lot of imitation. They combine it and that becomes an innovation. That's where they become a champion, isn't it? So do not try to do lots and lots of full tests. There is a time for it and you should do it, but not at the beginning itself. You have to build your muscle first. So when you build your muscles, then you can run for a long time. If the muscles are weak, then how would you run? So this is very, very important. Take this as your principle. And that is why I'm telling you, take any 5 tests and write everything about them the way you are doing right now. All right. So fine. Your agenda is set. I've told you what you are supposed to do on a daily basis. I've also told you about this imitate to learn and innovate to earn. This is a very simple principle, but it is very, very powerful, isn't it?
Yes.
And any test, any exam, it is more a game of mindset. It is not, IELTS is not a test of English. IELTS is the test of mindset, isn't it? People with very right mindset win the game, even with a little bit mediocre English, I would say, because their mindset works to improve their English by itself. They don't have to do anything. Their mindset works to improve their English. But if the mindset is incorrect, if you go with the wrong mindset, even with good English, you will fail. I have failed with the wrong mindset. You change your mindset, you'll get very good results. So this is very important that you first of all build a strong base. I've told you what you are supposed to do to build those strong base. I'll share this video with you, so please go through it once again, because these are some very, very important principles. It will clear a lot of doubts that you have. Like many times, Ravi, like you, many people call me and tell me, I will not be able to do it. The way this person is speaking, I'll not be able to speak. So you don't have to worry. You just have to copy, imitate to learn, and innovate to earn. Don't think I have to do something. The biggest problem is don't try to be original. Don't try to give something from you alone when you are learning. At the learning stage, please give some photocopy.
Sir, when I think you have morning classes as well?
Yeah, we did have, today only we did. Are you available in the morning? Yeah, I wanted to ask that also. I'll ask
Sir,
after the session, 1 minute. We'll do
for,
that part later on. But yes, I think this is very important. So let's get back to the part that we wanted to do. I've given some work to these 2 people, Ravi and Ashma, in the morning, where I asked them to prepare for 6 minutes English. So let me see if you are ready with that, and then we'll do some sessions of speaking today. And I'll schedule this. I'll do this part of scheduling at the end, Ajit. So we would be clear about it. Yes, Ashima, have you gone through those 6 minutes English? things? Or
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. Actually, I checked two videos of those because third I mentioned like 6 minutes English vocabulary and listening, but I was not aware the topic. So I did one support the poverty, and other one is food made from space something.
so which new words have you learned from it?
Oh yes. So for the second one, which is
Did you note them?
Yes, sir. I noted them.
Where are they?
There
Yeah.
only.
So read them, no?
Yeah. So they mentioned very nice vocabulary like uh, trauma classes, or
Pharma classes, you're saying? PHARMA?
no, it's trauma.
Trauma classes.
Right.
Okay, what is this concept of trauma classes?
I think the people or the segment which belongs to poor, they are underprivileged people. Apart from that, they have mentioned like with the help of sports, they can improve their determination. They can learn the life skills. They can be determined. They are aware like how to deal with the situation, what and how they will understand, not only in terms of sports but in terms of life skill as well. Apart from that, tough background, they have mentioned one somewhere, so I like that word, tough background. They said they can improve the mindset of acting, which through they can change or they can improve them.
Your voice
or
is
the improvement of hello. So they can improve their mindset for the active, which to overcome the complicated situation. Actually, I have just jotted down. It was not very not in a structured manner. So whatever I'm able to, yeah, poor township they mentioned somewhere. So two mentor or two they mentioned the two persons' name, Tim. I think Tim Corniver and one more person is there from Australia.
So let's do one thing, Ashima. Let's do one thing. I want all of you to go through this trauma classes once again. Trauma classes, 6 minutes English. What was the topic of this one?
Sports against poverty, sir.
Yes.
Food and poverty.
Sports against poverty.
Sports against poverty.
Against poverty, right.
I want you to go through this, sports against poverty. And tomorrow we are going to have a class once again. Tomorrow we will discuss. So sports against poverty, 6 minutes English. I want you to go through this once again. What I want you to note down is new words. You will make one sentence on each of the words. You will note down new usage. So something related to grammar, whatever they say. So new usage, and write a summary of the story, whatever they say, whatever the gist of it is. I want you to write a small summary about it. So it's like, how can sports be used to overcome poverty? Probably, how can sports be an instrument to bring about change in people's economic level? If they start playing games, they become rich. I'm guessing that might be the gist of it. How can sports be used as an instrument to improve the economic situations of people or economic conditions of people? So whatever it is, I want you to go through this. I'll also check this. I haven't seen this particular video, and we'll discuss about it tomorrow. So once you have something which you are able to see and speak about, it will improve your ability to paraphrase. And this is one very important thing which is tested in your IELTS test. If you are able to paraphrase something, which means you saw something and you are able to put it in your own words, you can write any essay, you can speak about any topic, you can organize anything. You can speak about anything. So I want you to do this. Okay, Ravi, you have also gone through it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want you to go through this once again. In case you have done it, take this as an exercise once again. And I
Yes.
want you to work on these aspects. So we'll discuss them. Okay. Anything else that you have done? The assignment I gave was related to these presentations itself, nothing else, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, sir.
I want you to watch them all, at least just go through this one only once again, and write down new words, new usages, write a summary of it, and we'll take it forward from there. So Harjeet, you will also go through this 6 minutes English, Sports Against Poverty. You will find it on YouTube. Just listen to it. Maybe it will take 15 to 20 minutes because you would be taking down all the new words and usages also. You've not just been listening to it, but then I want you to do this exercise. This will be interesting. All right. Apart from that, I'm planning to start. I mean, this week we are going to devote all to speaking. So whatever is related to speaking, we are going to do that. But then in the background, I mean, along with speaking, I would also like you to keep on practicing reading that we have done the last week. We have done quite a lot of passages. One or two are left, so you can keep on doing them. In case in between you have to arrange one or two sessions of reading, we can do that as well. But pretty much my focus this week is going to be speaking. And I'll be telling you all the things which are required to improve your speaking skills. And speaking and writing are very much related. All right. You are tested on vocabulary in speaking as well as writing. You are tested on grammar in speaking as well as writing. You are tested on organizing your ideas in speaking as well as writing. You are tested on knowledge in speaking as well as writing. So all these four skills, knowledge, vocabulary, grammar, and organization, are common for speaking and writing. So when you are doing speaking, you are actually developing things related to writing also. A good speaker would always be very good writer, because when you are speaking, you are spontaneously able to organize your ideas and give words to your thoughts. So if you are fluent in speaking, you will definitely be very fluent and organized in writing. These two skills are very much related, isn't it? What is the difference between speaking and writing? The only difference is the way of expressing, the way of expression. This is also you are giving some output. This is also you are giving some output. There's something in your brain. You are either writing it or speaking it. If there is nothing in the brain, you will not be able to speak or write. If there is something in the brain, you can either express it by writing or by speaking. Aren't they the same?
Yes.
The only difference is in speaking, you are supposed to be spontaneous. You cannot think and speak. You know, the ideas have to flow one after the other. In writing, you can always take a pause. You can organize. You can think what you want to write. So speaking is an accelerated form of writing. And writing is a little slower form of speaking. But both of them are the same. So if somebody is able to speak well, would he not be able to write well also?
Yes.
And if somebody is able to write well, would he not be able to speak well also? Yeah, by practicing writing again and again, he will be. So this is something very important. When you are practicing speaking, you'll find that your writing would also improve because you will get organized. You would know how much to write in introduction, how much to write in body, how much to write in conclusion, which words to use, how can it be very precise, right? How to analyze the situation. Sometimes when you write the essay, you write about the off topic, you go off topic. It's very natural. So I want you to look at speaking this way. Have a very clear perspective and mindset when you are doing speaking. When you are doing speaking, you are actually doing two things together. You are also preparing for writing. As far as questions are concerned, you'll find a lot of similarity between the speaking and writing questions also. Isn't it? You're supposed to write an essay where you have to tell what is the importance of sports and how can sports improve a person's life. Don't you see the same types of questions asked in speaking also? So even the questions are the same. Talk about some technical innovation which you have seen. And in writing, you are supposed to write how science is affecting our life. Aren't they both more or less the same? So it's very important when you are doing this speaking exercise, please consider it to be very, very important because it will set the right foundation for writing as well. All right. So today what I'm planning to do is we'll do a quick session of speaking with Ashma. So Ashma, I'm going to ask questions to you, and Harjeet and Ravi, I want you to evaluate her. And you would be evaluating on the criteria which I'm giving you here. So yeah, I'll open the evaluation criteria so you would know how to evaluate a person, and you should know this. This is something which is important. Are you all able to share this, see my screen?
So it's blank.
Yeah, it will come in a minute.
But it starts sharing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now we can see. We can see.
So this is the evaluation criteria. You are evaluated on 4 headings, or this is the criteria on which you would be evaluated. Fluency and coherence. So how fluent you are. Lexical resources, your choice of words and how you speak. This does not mean you're supposed to use difficult words, but you're supposed to use the most contextual words, the most pertinent words that fits in that, the words that fit in that situation. Grammatical range and accuracy. So we are supposed to speak small as well as long sentences and speak them correctly. You are supposed to use different types of grammatical structures and pronunciation. I want you to go through this table after the class today. So we'll discuss this further. In the morning we discussed it. But these headings, you should read them 5-10 times to understand what exactly are you tested on. All right. So Harjeet, when Ashima speaks, I want you to evaluate her on fluency and coherence, as well as lexical resources. Is that clear? You are an examiner now. You are going to examine Ashima on these 2 criteria. And you'll have to tell me whether she is fluent and coherent and whether is she using proper vocabulary. Harjeet,
So
dekho jara kitne tension mein aa gayi. Okay, don't worry. You know, it's okay. I'll help you. And Ravi, you are supposed to take care of grammatical range and accuracy and pronunciation. Okay, you have to give marks out of 9. You are a teacher, Harjeet, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm giving you the same type of task. You fail so many students. Today also you have to fail a student, right?
No, sir.
I don't want to, sir.
You just tell that, oh, you are not doing good. You know, so many times you do it every day, no? You tell your kids you are not doing good. Tell her, you're not doing good. Finish. Big deal. Your vocabulary is not good. Your fluency and coherence is bad. Finish. If she asks, just tell her I am the teacher. Don't ask. All right. Grammatical range and accuracy and pronunciation. These 2 things you are supposed to take care of, Ravi. Right? But Harjeet, remember, one day your chance will also come. So she will act like that. So be careful. All right. Okay. So should we start?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what is your name?
My name is Asma.
And where are you from, Asma?
I'm from Delhi. It is the capital of India. It's located in northern part of the country.
All right. So have you lived in any other city apart from Delhi?
No, I born and raised in Delhi only, and I never been to other cities.
So you are born and brought up in Delhi itself. All right. Yes. So have you lived in the same home, or you were living in some other home earlier?
Yes, I was living in a government apartment earlier, and after marriage, I moved to a DDA apartment with my husband.
Okay. So tell me about your childhood. What kind of house you lived in, and how was your experience of living in a government apartment?
Well, I think government apartment is a good spacious apartment. My father worked in government department in electric department. He got a 3 BHK house there, and it's a very spacious house. I think at that particular time the high-rise building concept was not there, so we have our own garden also in that particular house. Apart from that, I think because of government government establishment or government structure, so everything was taken care by government. Like if we had any water issue or electricity issue, we only need to call those people, and people were ready for services. People were available for service. So it's always good to have this type of facility, of course. And I think there is a drastic change if when you are living in your own apartment and with government apartment or building.
Okay, all right. So let's look at just this part right now. So there are a few things which I noted and I want to point them out first, and then I'll ask Harjeet and Ravi to speak about. My father works in electrical department or something that you said, right? Is he still working there?
No, he worked there.
Yeah, so my father works in नहीं बोलना पड़ेगा, आपको बोलना होगा my father used to work in or worked in. My father served or worked in the electric department. So, you know, it should not be works. And आपने बोले my father work in, तो work तो बिल्कुल ही गलत हो जाएगा. If it is third person, you have to say either works if he is currently working, and if he is retired, you have to say my father worked in, or my father served electrical department, like that. We have a garden nearby and we used to go there. No, we had a garden. ये ना जल्दी जल्दी बोलने में पता नहीं लगता. आपने बीच में कई चीजें करेक्ट भी बोली हैं, तो मैं थोड़ा कंफ्यूज था कि इनको पता है, ये जान के बोल रही है, स्लिप है. तो इट वाज अ स्लिप. You were aware because you said had 2-3 times also, but when you described your garden, you said we have a garden nearby. Okay, if there was any requirement, we need to just call. You know, all this is recorded, so I'll be sending you the recording and you will be able to hear all these things, because when we are speaking, we are so spontaneous that we do not get a chance to see our own mistakes. It's only somebody else who is listening to you can point out and tell you that these are the mistakes you are committing. So this is important, you know. So just hear it and you will get to see how you speak and which errors there are. And I'll be sending it to all of you. So you can also see whatever I'm saying, you can just make a note of it and you'll find that these errors are there. And yeah, after that you said that it's always, what was that? It's always a big change or a lot of difference when you move from one house to other house. Some expression was that. And so that is fine. You are talking about some general rule. It is always a big change, or there's a huge difference between government apartments and private apartments or DTA apartments. In government apartments, all the amenities are taken care of by the government itself. But when we are living in our DDA, we have to organize all the facilities, or the DDA authority is supposed to take care of all those things. So, you know, you spoke well about that. But then, yes, those 2-3 things were something which anyone would point out. See, I'm not really doing a very good job. This is not the right way to teach, the way I'm teaching. You know, you should be allowed to speak as much as possible. There should not be anyone like me to point out the mistakes. The thing that I'm doing, I've seen, I mean, I watched a lot of videos about how to teach better. And I was watching a video at TED. The person was telling that she found that some students, she just used to make people talk without interfering. And after 1 month, their English automatically improved. So when you become very conscious of your English, you become less fluent and you become very conscious. So don't get conscious is what I'm trying to say. Just just write down your mistakes at one place and just forget them and keep on revising them on a daily basis. All right. So it's like rewriting the program, but you should not think about, there should not be two programs running in your mind. ये बोलूं कि ये बोलूं, उन भाई साहब ने बोला था गलत है. Don't do that. So practice it in a way that you become fluent. And this is my task, to point out the mistakes, but then you have to just note them down and make sure that you correct them. Okay, let me ask a few questions to her. Okay, do you have any suggestions for Ashima? Did you note down something? So Harjeet, grammar and range and vocabulary and pronunciation, how do you find her?
Yeah, sir. Actually, first of all, I would like to say that she must have lots of she spent lots of time to prepare this. I am not able to evaluate her, but there is some suggestion, she was little bit confused. Either she's going to use words, or she said are or were. She said are were. Both were she used together. So that was the mistake. And the second thing, she was little bit using again and again I think lots of were there. So
okay,
only
so I have two comments for this one. Number one, correcting yourself is allowed in IELTS. So in case you spoke something and you want to correct yourself, you can always do that. I also do it many a times, because see, whatever we say, English comes out of our mind. English comes out of our brain. It's a second language. So there's always a filter, we try to check ourselves when we speak. And sometimes after speaking a word, our mind tells us that this is the right way to speak it. So rather than not correcting it, you should correct it.
Okay, so we can correct.
You can correct yourself after speaking. It's absolutely fine to correct yourself if you find that, oh, you spoke something incorrectly.
Okay.
Number two, these are verbal pauses. Whenever you are speaking, these pauses are very natural. Anybody who is asked a question and who is in a little tensed situation would fumble a little bit. It should not be too much though, and it should not be a hindrance to convey the message. But a little bit of fillers are all allowed. One suggestion which I have is, instead of you saying you can just keep it silent. Have some moments of silence in your speech, rather than filling those blank spaces with an you can always pause, like the way I'm trying to do right now. I take pauses, and these pauses are just blank spaces. I'm not filling them with any kind of filler or any kind of voice or noise there. So you can do this and you can practice. I mean, too much of shows nervousness, that you are very eager to speak. But if you are speaking with pauses, it shows that you are very confident. You know when to speak, how much to speak, when to take a pause. You'll find that all these very confident people take pauses. Look at Modi, look at Atal Bihari Vajpayee, look at all these English speakers also, like Obama. They take very calculated pauses. And those pauses are not filled with any fillers. So you can use that. When you're speaking, take some strategic pauses. You will speak with a lot of power. Your speech would show a lot of power, that you are not scared of making the other person wait. Isn't it? So I respect you, but I respect myself also. So when the idea is coming to my mind, and if there is a little gap between that, I would rather take a pause, because let that idea come to my mind. Right? So it is okay to take some pauses. Don't fill them with any Okay. Any other thing? So good, Harjeet. Those are some important points. What about you, Ravi? Any other observations for Ashma?
Her English was good, sir. But few things in the sense pronunciation wise, I found little bit of things which needs to pronounce.
So can
I
you
mean,
point out some word which was not properly pronounced?
actually, I didn't had a note of this. Actually,
You haven't made any note of that. So that's fine.
no,
That's
no.
fine. You might have found one or two words here and there. So one way to improve your pronunciation is to go slow. When you speak, do not speak very fast. Try to speak at a normal pace and try to complete one sentence before you move on to the next sentence. And yeah, speak slowly. There's no need to hurry up.
Sir, one more question I have. Then, when you ask her that, have you been to any other city? So on that time, she didn't give any like leading answer. So is it okay to stop there? Like
Yeah, see,
she
so
said,
Tina was
I
told that you should give some leading answers and
yes.
all those things.
I remember that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's always, yeah, you can always say that, yeah, I lived in, although I've never changed cities, but I've lived in many houses in the same city. So earlier I used to live in a government apartment, but now I'm living in a DD apartment. But then, yeah, it is all in the same city. So, you are kind of giving him a lead to ask the next question. So you can do that. I'm glad that you are remembering it and you are using those things. Yeah, it helps.
That's why I told you, sir, that I used to watch the video twice, or like whenever I feel that I should watch these videos, and I usually go to that video and try to watch.
Yeah, she has explained it very nicely. That's very right. Yes. And it makes all good sense. Have you seen Sheenam's video, Ravi, Ashma?
Yes, so actually we were there at that
You were
Yeah,
there
we
at
were
that
there
time.
live. Okay, anyway, we will watch it once again, sir. But
Yeah, watch it once again.
Yes.
So there are
But
lots of,
after that also I watched her. So just
yeah,
to see the reading part. So,
yeah,
but I would say that she was very fortunate. She said the exam was pretty much easy. I was like, my God. She was the first one. She was the first person who made this type of comment. She was aware about the mistakes and everything, leading questions, so this type of stuff. So I like the confident part. I
yeah,
really like
yeah,
her confidence.
exactly.
Yeah, actually, she is very lively girl, and I
Yeah,
Yeah.
like her attitude. Like she
yes,
always express her ideas very confidently. So that's
Yep.
a very big thing which I noticed. And I saw one video on YouTube, and in that video, it was explained that that was cricketer, and he said that whenever we used to go to the pitch, the temperament is the main thing. The when sometimes we show that like we are the like lines. So the I realized that it's the most important thing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is right. That is right. So yeah, she's a very lively girl,
Yeah, she's very
and
lively,
she is very expressive. She was able
expressive.
to,
Yes, actually.
she shared everything she knew. Yeah, that was good. I'll share with
She
her, and
was
I'll,
describing every point with wholeheartedly. She said every point.
yeah. Your voice has gone, Ashma, somehow. I think
I'm
it got
sorry.
yeah, it's clear now. Yeah, so it's important.
Yeah.
You have to
She did
create
describe very well.
opportunities for yourself. This is again very important that you have to create opportunities for yourself in the speaking test. So
Yeah.
whenever you get some small uh, opportunity, turn that into a big opportunity by talking about it in all possible details.
Yeah.
And yes, I think this is something which is unique that she said that you can give leads to the examiner.
Yes.
one thing, sir, regarding this thing you are saying about taking the leads,
Mhm.
but normally the questions they will be having those things and all written in the paper, no, sir. Based on that, they're going to ask the questions, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Ravi. So this is not a absolutely formatted test. All the questions are more or less fixed and they have an agenda with them. But then it's more in the structure of a conversation. So
Okay.
in case an examiner is a matured examiner, a seasoned examiner, he can take clues from your speaking itself. You know, see, they
Sir,
have to check you on certain things like present tense, past tense, future tense, giving an opinion, talking about someone else, ability to paraphrase, all those things. So one can always choose the same context, one can use different context. And if the person knows that, oh, this person's English is fine, then it goes more into conversation mode rather than that pure testing mode.
Sir, I have one doubt. Like, is it okay to just tell the truth? Like, suppose this, I am I am a teacher, but I'm not very good at English. But if I'll say that I am a teacher, so according to my profession, the level of the question will be like high. Is it the
Not
possibility is there?
necessary, not necessary.
Not
See,
necessary.
um, the test has its own criteria, and it does not depend on your profession. So you can always say I'm a teacher, and they know that people from all the different uh, domains have different levels of English. So you being a teacher does not, yeah, it does show that you are in the business where you have to, or profession where you have to speak a lot. So it is expected that your English would be fine, but then take it as an advantage. I mean, take your English to the level that it justifies your profession. Don't try to hide your profession. It can be an advantage also, no? Look at it like this. When you go there, when your English is very good and you are a teacher also, it would be a great advantage. Just think if you were not a teacher and you had gone there with, let's say, poor English, then there would be this would have been double disadvantage. Oh, this person is not in the speaking profession. English is also not that good. And your English is good, to be honest. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you ready? Okay. Still, I'll ask a few questions. So, Ravi, you and Ashma, you are going to evaluate her. Okay?
Oh my God.
Ravi, fluency and coherence, and
Saya won't be able to answer, I'm sure.
No, that's fine. So, grammatical range and accuracy and pronunciation, it is your thing, Ashma. All right?
Sure.
And you are supposed to speak the way you speak with your friends in a party. All right? Don't think you are taking a test.
I'll try.
Make it very simple. All right. So, what is your name?
My name is Harjeet Kaur Maan.
And where are you from, Harjeet?
Basically, I'm from born and brought up from Punjab, Amritsar.
Okay, you are from Amritsar. So tell me something about Amritsar. What kind of city Amritsar is?
Amritsar is a holy city with lots of historical places like fort. There is a fort, Gobindgarh Fort. There is a Sikh temple, which is really famous in whole world. Golden Temple, which is made of I will be really confused. I won't be able to answer.
Okay, so you studied in
Simple.
So it is a gold-plated temple.
Yes, gold-plated temple.
All right.
So
whenever have you done your schooling from Amritsar itself?
Yes, my schooling is from Amritsar itself. My primary school's name was Shri Guru Nanak Shri Guru Nanak Dev Girls Senior Secondary School, and then after bas itna hi.
I studied in the college. You did your college education also in Amritsar?
Actually, sir, agar sach bataun to I have never been in college after 10th grade. I have done my studies correspondently, like privately. I was working. I was working when I was in grade 10th. After that, I started working in a school. When I was in grade 12th, I was teaching grade 10 students. So after that, till my graduation, I was working, complete like full-time working, and it was really difficult time for me.
This is fantastic. I mean, you have gone through a fantastic journey.
Thank you.
You should be proud of it.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
absolutely.
All these school education and college education is of no use. It's your work which teaches you the most. More than anything else, it's the work that teaches you, and this is commendable. You have taken responsibility at such an early stage. People are scared to go out and work and do things, but you
So I have worked in different offices. I have worked in bank, I have worked in retail marketing, I have worked in telecommunication, and I gave tuitions to the children. Then after I joined a school also. Now I'm working as a teacher in DPS, which is really a big achievement of my life, I would say.
I'm telling you, yeah. So you have taken so many challenges. You are a true Rani ki Jhansi. I mean, Jhansi ki Rani, but Rani ki Jhansi. Yeah, I think you have taken a lot of challenges. More than
Now this is the big challenge for me. IELTS.
Yeah, this is not a big challenge. You have already cleared bigger challenges than this one. I think this is just an icing on the cake. The cake is already there. Just have to put a beautiful icing there. IELTS would be like that. So yeah, you have covered a lot of journey. So this is good. And you can be absolutely honest. Well, to be honest with you, after 10th, I've been working and I never gave up education. I wanted to pursue my graduation, so I did it through correspondence, but I kept on working also. You just इसके ऊपर पूरा लिखो, write it down. So this will become, ये तो आप इतना जबरदस्त उसको वो बोल रहे थे ना, give him a lead. You can, your life, you will be the biggest lead. Tell him about your life, and he would be very much interested in your life than any other topic. Tell him that, see, after 10th, I've been working, and while doing my 12th, I was teaching 10th class students. While doing college, I was teaching 12th, and after that, I never went to school after 10th. I learned all the things in the field, and I was so you should be proud of what you have done. You should take pride in it, and you can clear any test because you have got a unique story there with you. The best thing that you have is a unique story, which is an original story. Nobody can have that story. Ravi, can you have such a story?
No, sir. Congrats, Arjit Kaur. Actually, the way you said me, I mean, I was very happy by listening your words. Actually,
normally, and I would say, sir, when she was saying that phrase, he was very confident, very fluent, without any grammatical error. So yeah, you should actually work on that thing, and I think it's a achievement.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so proud to hear that.
So IELTS is a small, like an ant. You have already killed a big elephant.
Let's see.
Yeah. So yeah, you should tell this story. I am telling you. Please take this, make this as an agenda, make this as the main theme of your speaking. Take some opportunity, create some situation that the person asks you about your background, and take him to your background, because that is the most incredible story that you have. Nobody can copy it. And if you are able to articulate that, nothing else would be required in the speaking test. Just he would be asking all the things about your experience only. Why did you teach? How did you teach? Which challenges you faced while teaching 10th class students? Which challenges you faced while working? Because if the person gets involved, like I have got involved in your story now, and I'm asking all the things related to that. If the person gets involved, his task is to test your English. He can ask any question related to your life. So yeah, if he's really, and they do it many a times, they do this. They just ask you questions related to your life and the interview would be over. You won't even know that the test is over. Most of the time it happens like that. But then yeah, they are smart. They have an agenda of their own. They can ask any question, but you should always use this opportunity. If you ever get a chance to tell about your life, tell it, because that's the most unique story that you have, all of us actually. Nobody can steal that, nobody can copy that. It's only you who have lived that life, and whatever it is yours. So you should take advantage of that, and you should be very, very proud of your story. So don't try to hide it, because that's the most precious thing that you have. Okay, so I think it is enough. We have done good. Ravi, I'm going to ask questions to you tomorrow. It's going to be your chance. So, be prepared. And you've got a lot of clues now how to speak. And it's not difficult. You just have to be present in that moment and speak your heart out. Don't try to kind of manufacture something. Just be original. I think that's most important.
For me, the problem is that, sir. I mean, I cannot bluff. That is the problem. That's why
That is not a problem, man. People who speak lies is a problem. No, there. What is that?
no, sir. But in speaking, we need to speak lies, sir. That is the thing. Actually, I mean, if you try to speak the original thing, then definitely you will have passes. That's what I felt, sir.
Who said you have to lie in speaking? Have you seen that interview of Three Idiots? This guy fell down and he was absolutely original and got the job.
Yes.
This speaking test is like this. Tell them, you keep your IELTS, I will keep my attitude, and come back. They will give you full marks. So why should you hide anything? This is what he said, right? Sir, आप अपनी चार टांगे तो एनिमल्स की होती हैं, 2 टांगे तोड़वा के और 15 हड्डियां तोड़वा के ये एटीट्यूड मेरे में आया है, तो आप अपनी नौकरी आपके पास रख लीजिए, मैं अपना एटीट्यूड रख लेता हूँ. थैंक यू सो मच. Come on, you should not underestimate your story, man. Why should you? I mean, be original, whatever it is. You are not supposed to tell us. So I think Seenam has kind of affected you too much when she said that you are supposed to tell lies. No.
No, sir.
You should make story. There's a huge difference between telling a lie and making a story.
Yeah, I mean, might be I should have said it as stories, sir, actually, instead of lies.
Yeah.
Then I should be good at storytelling, sir. I need to learn how to tell a story.
Of course, yes. That's
in an interesting manner.
Yes. You should. I would not deny that. You have to be a storyteller. The power of stories is immense. You cannot deny that. Nobody can deny. What are we talking about? These are all the stories, isn't it? And if we are able to present the story in an interesting way, the whole thing will be in a very different way. So, you don't have to tell a lie. You have to be a storyteller. Tell your story in the original story in a very interesting way. And you should be very proud about it. That's very important. You should not try to hide. Actually, sir, सच बताऊं तो मैं 10 बजे के बाद में स्कूल गई ही नहीं. अरे तो ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. सच क्या बोलना है उसके अंदर? You have to tell it with full confidence. Sir, to tell you the truth, I never went to school. I'm so lucky that I was saved from going to school and attending boring lectures. I never had to go through this, which usual kids go through. So I was so lucky that I got a chance to teach people after 12th itself. And after that, I have been working. So I think God is great, and I am the most lucky person that I never had to go to school. And I learned everything. And today I am working in a school. Tell it like this. This is not something to hide. This is your biggest achievement that you have never gone to school. वो क्या बोलते हैं? I was born intelligent and school made me dumb. ऐसी कुछ quotation है ना? Okay, fine. Whatever, however it is worded, this is the gist of it. This is what it means, that sometimes schools, I mean, I should not blame schools. They are great place. We get to learn a lot of things, but then sometimes they impose a lot of rules on kids, and instead of learning a lot of things, they develop a lot of complexes. Can I take a minute? I'll tell you a story. When I went for my daughter's admission, there was a parents interview which happens there. You know, it's there in every school. So this was his junior Montessori class, the first class. When I went to meet the principal, I asked her, this was my first question. Do you ever fail kids? Do the kids fail in your school? If the kids fail in your school, especially in the first 3-4 years, I'm not going to put my daughter in your school. Usually the interview is to check whether parents are eligible. I asked her, your school is not eligible for my daughter. If you fail kids, my wife started saying, what are you saying? What are you saying? I told her, you cannot fail my daughter. Whatever she is, you have to pass her. She has to clear every school, every class, even if she is a 0. How can you fail a small kid? Tell me, 3rd class student and failed. Arey? Ab to khair shayad rule hai now. This is a rule, but then at that time this was not the rule. So I told her, whatever is your school, I don't care. So this is what it is. You should take full pride in all these facts. So fine, tomorrow, no, I'll tell you about the tomorrow, not tomorrow. We are not going to have a class tomorrow. We'll do day after. But yes, day after we'll do this speaking, and by that time, I want you to be ready with all the things which we discussed today.
Sure, sir.
Okay, see you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye-bye.
I need a video of this one, sir. I mean, we all need a video of this session.
Yeah, I'll send a video. I have recorded it. Yes.
Harjit, we are proud of you actually. The things which you said, we got inspired actually. Yes. At that age, definitely you will be sitting in house. We won't be doing anything. I mean to say about me.
Yeah, I was also very much pampered as a child. I got an opportunity to go to school and everything. So you are unique. You are a fighter among all of us. This is great.
I think already you wrote IELTS.
Bigger than IELTS.
Yeah.
But now I need 8 bands.
You will get 9. Come on.
Oh. Thank you. With God's grace, maybe I'll get.
Yeah, you'll definitely do it.
For sure.
Okay, see you then.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Good night, sir. Bye, everyone.
Bye.